Hello, today I'll discuss chapter 4 of civics. Let's start by discussing a few important terms. Society. Society is a group of people who live in a common territory. They share common culture and social institutions. There are also social stratifications. That is, we arrange people into groups on basis of income like rich or poor, education, gender or occupation like teachers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, farmers. In a society, there can be different religions, castes, and classes, but they share a common political system. For instance, in Indian society, we have different religious and caste groups, but same political system for all. Social group. Social group consists of two or more individuals who share similar attitudes, values, and interests. Society can be considered as a large social group. Other examples of social groups are families, friends, neighbors, classmates. It is not necessary that a social group consists of same ethnic or religious members. Diversity. Diversity means an understanding that each individual is unique. We recognize individual differences. These can be on the basis of ethnicity, gender, economic status, age, physical abilities, or religious beliefs. Social differences are the situations where people are discriminated against on the basis of social, economic, and racial inequality. We find these differences either because of birth or because of our choice. For example, we are tall or short, male or female. All it depends on our birth. On the other hand, the occupations we take up or the activities in which we participate depends on our choice. Like some of us might enjoy sport activities, whereas others may enjoy reading or painting. Social division means division of society on the basis of social differences like language, region, caste, color, or gender. A social difference becomes a social division when some social differences are joined by another set of social differences. For example, Dalits have been ignored by the upper caste. They also tend to be poor and landless and are often discriminated. Hence, when so many differences come together, the Dalits feel they belong to a different community and this creates social division. In this chapter, we will talk about gender, religion, and caste divisions existing in India and how these divisions are expressed in politics and how far Indian democracy is affected. I'll talk about gender division. Gender division is a form of social division. The society does not provide equal roles to both men and women. The division is understood as natural and unchangeable. It is not based on biology but on social expectations and stereotypes, which means we generalize. For example, we assume that teachers and nurses are women and that pilots, doctors, and engineers are men. From birth, males and females are raised differently and experience different environments. For example, the color blue is commonly associated with boys and they get toys like monster truck or sport related things to play with. Whereas girls are commonly introduced to the color pink and they most commonly play with dolls or kitchen set. This leads to a difference in personality, career paths, or relationships. Now let's look into the factors which are responsible for determining status of women in Indian society. In India, about 30% of the people live below the poverty line and 70% of them are women. Lack of access to resources like land ownership and inheritance and economic dependence on the male causes gender inequalities. The progress towards education by girls is also very slow. Gender inequalities can be seen at primary and secondary level. In both rural and urban India, women spend a large proportion of time on unpaid work. Women have fewer rights and more duties within a house. Women's roles is confined mostly to cooking, washing, and taking care of family members. The preference for sons and disfavor towards daughters still exists in many places. Moreover, women are unaware of their basic rights and capabilities and therefore accept all kinds of discrimination that prevails in our family and society. Now let's look into various aspects of life in which women are discriminated. The literacy rate is 82.14% for men and 65.46% for women. Very less number of girl students go for higher studies. Parents often think that teaching a girl child to manage the kitchen is more important than sending her to school. We also find less number of women among highly paid jobs and valued jobs. Moreover, women are paid less than men even if both do exactly the same work. In a male dominating society, there is preference for a male child. Sex selective abortion has led to a decline in sex ratio. Sex ratio means the number of girl children per thousand boys. Women are not safe within their own home. Many of them face domestic violence. Political representation of women is also very less. According to the last census, 48% of India's population is female. However, we only have 14.36% of women representatives in the parliament. Gender equality means equal access to resources and opportunities for both male and female. It formed the basis for the women's rights movements and feminist movements during the 20th century. Feminist means one who believes in equal rights and opportunities for men and women. Feminist movement refers to a series of political campaigns for reforms on issues such as reproductive rights, domestic violence, equal pay, women's voting rights. Women in different parts of the world organized and agitated for equal rights. There were agitations in different countries for the extension of voting rights to women. New Zealand was the first country to give voting rights to women. There were demands for equal political and legal status. And they also demanded for the improvement in educational and career opportunities. Feminists aimed at equality in personal and family life. That is, all family members, whether male or female, should enjoy equal freedom. Political expression of gender division and political mobilization has also helped to improve women's role in public life. People raised issue of gender inequality and gained support from many, which in turn helped in achieving equality to a large extent. While the world has achieved progress towards gender equality and women empowerment, women and girls continue to suffer discrimination and violence in every part of the world. The Gender Gap Index show how well countries divide their resources and opportunities among their male and female populations. The report suggests that the top country for gender equality remained Iceland, followed by Nordic countries such as Sweden, Norway, and Finland. Now let's discuss women's political representation in India. Women empowerment and gender equality can be achieved only when women participate fully and actively in all walks of life. Bringing women into decision making bodies will enable them to have power over the decisions which influence them. However, proportion of women in political bodies is very low. We need to solve this problem, and we can do so by making laws to have a fair proportion of women in the elected bodies. For example, one third of seats are reserved for women in local bodies. However, one third of seats should also be reserved for women in state assemblies and Lok Sabha. We need to raise literacy rate and make women aware of her rights. Continuous efforts should be made towards breaking stereotypes and various notions prevailing around gender. That is, we should not fix boys and girls in a particular image. For example, only girls can cook, not boys. Political parties must also give due representation to women, which means giving what is required to them. That is, important positions within the parties must also be given to women. Kindly read page 40 to 45 and try to find answers to the questions given in Let Us Try.